yeah, live back in action. This is what's up. It's the Power 32 podcast. We're here. We're ready to roll. We're ready to go. My name is Jason Fearman, a.k.a. the Sports Prophet, a.k.a. the smart guy, along with the smart ass, Mr. Kenny Colt, my partner in crime. What's up, kiddo?
That's me. I'm the smart ass.
It is. You sure are, man.
You can't have a smart guy without a smart ass. You won't know the difference.
Well, this smart guy said in the beginning of the season that the Eagles were going to the Super Bowl. So I'm one game away from that one. I look pretty good. And I actually said
that's not all you were right about.
Well, a couple of things. And you have been right about a lot of things, too. I mean, Joe Burrow could have very easily won that MVP had they made the playoffs even. It's very possible. So, and yeah, it's funny because I had Cincinnati representing the AFC, and that didn't work out so well. So, you win some, you lose some, right?
Yeah, but those were great picks.
I thought so. Well, we're going to try to make some more great picks. We got two freaking awesome games to talk about, dude. The NFL Conference Championships are here. AFC, Bills, Chiefs meeting for the fourth time in the past, 5 years? And you got the upstart Commanders with Jaden Daniels having a sensational rookie year against Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. What a battle that's going to be. And we got a lot to talk about, man. So we're going to get to those games. We may be joined by a guest later on. We'll see if that does happen. We'll fill you in. But we definitely want to send Kenny and I, not that we talked about this, but I know you have a good heart. We want to send our prayers out to Southern California, LA area. Man, another wildfire broke out again last night.
Yeah,
it's
correct.
Just insane. I don't know how this keeps happening. We're not going to talk about it, much on this show, but we do want to send our prayers out to him, Kenny.
Definitely. It's something new that's happening in the winter. And you guys are getting snow. And
oh my God, yeah. Northern Florida's getting snow. It's insane. It's like kind of cold out here for Florida. Like in the morning, it's been like 40-something degrees, which is kind of crazy, man.
North Carolina, South Carolina, I know they're a little northern, and they're definitely colder places, but they're getting killed. It was like 16 degrees there last night, they said.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I left New York, man. It wasn't about anything else except for the weather. That was the problem.
Our temperature is very similar to yours. I think it was like 46 degrees last night. So.
Okay. All right. I mean, I can deal with that, but that's still cold. I mean, again, that's not why I fucking moved here. I moved to Florida to get away from the cold. So like,
exactly. I moved here for no snow, no rain, and no cold.
Right. What's going on, meteorologists? Get your shit together. It's been unseasonably cold. There's no doubt about it. But let's get hot over here. And the hot coaching seat is being filled up a little bit over here. So we got Ben Johnson's the Bears. And that's not a surprise. We kind of thought that was going to happen. He said he wanted to stay in division. And I think, Kenny, that kind of makes sense because he knows the entire division. So 6 games that he's going to have every year against Minnesota, Green Bay, and Detroit is going to be very interesting knowing that he knows those teams. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good move. I think starting fresh is always a nice move as long as the coach has potential, right?
He's got potential. There's no doubt. I mean, he can call an offense. Can he run an entire team? What are they going to do on the defensive side? How are they going to run, it over there? I mean, I would have brought in even though I think Brian Flores is more of a head coaching candidate, you want to bring in a guy like that. And we'll talk about more head coaching candidates. But Ben Johnson, let's see if he could be a head coach. And Josh McDaniels, we know he's not really a head coach, but he's following a head coach, Mike Vrabel, over to the New England Patriots. So going back home, third time's the charm, I guess, for Josh McDaniels. I don't know. But, that's no surprise. I mean, I think we even said a couple of weeks ago, we knew that Vrabel was going, and we wouldn't be shocked if Josh McDaniels followed him.
It's a pretty nice setup, right? Good for the Patriots.
And they got a quarterback. I know that you like him a lot.
I do.
You like Drake May.
Yeah, I really do like Drake May. He surprised me, actually.
My God, they just have no freaking talent. I mean, I'm hearing rumors that maybe they're going to go after DK Metcalf. I like that, but get more. They just need more. They need to get playmakers, man. They really do.
Yeah, I mean, like if Adam Thielen is available and DK Metcalf, I mean, those are people that could really step up your game out there with the veteran presence. They got experience, and they're going to talk to those kids. And they're going to, instill some knowledge. That's for sure. They got experience.
No doubt. Hey, we got to say what's up to Alexander Georgia right now, chiming in, saying, hey, everyone, Jason, Alex here, watching Vacancies are left. Yes, there are. We're going to talk about a few of them after we talk about Aaron. Shut up, Money. My dog is being a pain in the ass. Aaron Glenn going back to the New York Jets, where he once played, I think, from like 94 to 2001, whatever it was. But I love this signing. I love it because I'm not saying that Aaron Glenn is the greatest head coach that ever lived, but he's what the Jets need. He's an enforcer. He's a leader. He's a player's coach where he gets their respect. You know, they fear him, but they love him. He's a guy they want to play for. And you saw with Detroit losing 13 players on defense this year. Again, they had let up, a few 30 and 40-point games. I understand that. But when you're missing all those guys, it's going to happen. And still, when he needed to, he racked up a really great performance against Minnesota at the end of the year.
It's nice. That's when you need someone in the clutch. Besides that, it's all for show, right? Just padding stats. I want you to have stats when they matter. I don't care if you have 1,000 yards. If you have 250 yards and you won 4 games for us on a touchdown, that means more to me than 1,000 yards. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Now, you see, I want Aaron Glenn to be able to concentrate on coaching. I don't want him to just have to be all defense and, just worry about that side of the ball. So I'm hoping that he gets some good coordinators around him.
That's what I was going to say. We're going to see who he gets at defensive coordinator. If not, he's going to wind up being like Kyle, being the DC and the head coach, and it doesn't really help.
No, Alex saying that he knows the organization pretty well. Yes, he does. There's no doubt. Bill Parcells had vouched for him, so that's pretty high praise right there. Hey, stop! Sorry, the dog is pissing me off right now. Speaking of those head coaching vacancies that are out there. I think I wrote a couple of them down. So there's 4 left. There's the Cowboys, the Saints, the Jaguars, and the Raiders. Potential head coaches, Kenny, Kellen Moore, Robert Saleh, Brian Schottenheimer, maybe Steve Spagnuolo, Joe Brady, Brian Flores, Vance Joseph, Pete Carroll is a name that I like. I don't know if he wants to get back into coaching at his age. Maybe Cliff Kingsbury getting a chance, a young guy. But for the Cowboys, if Pete Carroll were to decide to get back into coaching, I think that he would be great because he is a player's coach, but he is a veteran. He's won a Super Bowl. I think that he would do well with that team. I mean, do you have anybody else in mind? I know they're looking at Kellen Moore a lot, but I don't know about that. Brian Schottenheimer they're looking at? I don't know.
I don't know. As far as Spagnuolo, I mean, I wouldn't leave.
No, why?
I mean, he's not on his deathbed or anything. Unless I was on my deathbed, I wouldn't leave the Chiefs at this point, especially if they win again.
I hear you, man. He's got a good thing going on over there. And he tried the head coaching thing once with the Giants. It didn't work out so well.
Well, that's the thing. We have all these great coaches that we're talking about and stuff. And, the thing is that they're great coaches. Are they great head coaches? Which we know there's, literally a couple handfuls of great coaches. They've won most of the Super Bowls. They've won multiple Super Bowls.
No doubt.
And so, and we have fans, especially like the Niner fans, they want to fire someone every year. And it's like, well, you can, and you might get lucky to find someone better, but just firing whoever loses, it doesn't work like that because 31 people lose every year. 31 head coaches lose every year.
That's right. You got it. And that's why you see so many firings every year, 8 to 10 firings. It's unbelievable head coaches that go. The Saints got an opening. I think that Brian Flores would work in a lot of places, and I think that he would work in New Orleans, toughen up that team. They do need help on offense, especially at quarterback. I was talking to a friend of mine who's a Saints fan. He has no idea what the hell they're going to do. I offered up the idea of why not go after Justin Fields?
For who? I'm sorry, I was looking at
the Saints. How about Justin Fields for the Saints?
Well, they're not the only team that would consider him, just so you know. So he's going to have a little bit of a line of people who are going to be interested, especially the Raiders, I hear, are also another team interested in Justin Fields.
Okay. If they don't draft a quarterback, we'll see, because they're, I think, 3rd in position, and there's really only 2 with Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders.
And a lot of people don't think that they're really all that.
They're really not. I mean, Brock Bowers is the best thing that happened to them since, Charles Woodson, I guess, and Rich Gannon. I don't know.
Which was a great pick. Really. That's a ballsy pick when you don't have a quarterback and you take a tight end and he still does well. Great job.
That shows you how great that guy is. And I think you called it early in the year. You were big on Brock Bowers. I think you said that he was going to have a big season. And
I was going to take him at tight end for fantasy. He would have been there, and I never would have moved him out of that position until his bye week. And somebody got right in front of me and took Brock Bowers. So I had to take Kraft. Kraft and Hunter Henry.
See, I had Brock Bowers on my championship team, and I feel like you had a little something to do with it. I remember you talking about him, and I was able to get him so late. I mean, all the other tight ends were gone for the most part. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. Like, the Raiders, they suck. They're going to be throwing the ball. Why not? And look, he breaks the freaking reception record.
And he really was way there. He was there way late. And so, for some reason, I don't know why nobody thought he was going to shine. I know.
Because it's the Raiders, I guess.
It's the Raiders, and they don't have a quarterback, so definitely that. But, like, the kid was so good. I wanted him on the Niners. We weren't going to that wasn't going to happen, but.
Speaking of Pete Carroll, by the way, I heard that there was some interest there with the Niners for defensive coordinator. Dude, I got to tell you, I would fucking love that. I don't know if he would take
That's my pick. That's my pick, too.
All right. I hope that he would be all right taking a back seat, so to speak, to Kyle Shanahan, even though I don't think that Shanahan would treat him that way necessarily.
No.
But, yo, I'm all over this, bro. I would love Pete Carroll to come back into this division that he knows so well and be our D coordinator and just focus on defense. I would love it.
I feel like he could also help us with special teams a little bit. I know it's not going to be his job, but
why not? He's good. Look, he knows offense also, but yeah, D's a specialty. That'd be.
And if people don't know, coaches don't have like a salary cap, so we could pay him whatever the hell we want. It's not like he's not going to make enough money. And I do like him, and he's been in our division forever. And so it's a good deal.
Yeah. Look, the Jaguars got an opening. Something weird happened. I don't know if you heard about this, but Liam Cohen is the Buccaneers offensive coordinator. And he had just recently, as far as I know, actually signed an extension with them or agreed in terms with the Bucs to continue to be their OC. Next thing you know, 24 hours later, he goes AWOL and he's interviewing with the Jacksonville Jaguars for the head coaching job. Like, what the hell? He went from Western Florida to Northern Florida and like a hop, skip, and a jump, and he's like, yo, I'm out of here. And it looks like he's the front runner for the Jaguars job right now. And people are like, who is Liam Cohen? Well, yeah, he was the offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers, and look what they did with Baker Mayfield and guys.
And I talked about that this year, how I loved their scheme. I loved their runs. Their runs were so tricky and misdirection.
Helps having good players.
They did, yeah. But I noticed that early on when we were doing picks, and I was just like, man, the Bucs look really good on offense. So.
Yeah.
I like it. So whoever spotted that definitely saw what I saw.
Yeah, man. Good call. I kind of like a combination of like Robert Saleh and Joe Brady going there. Joe Brady running the offense with Trevor Lawrence, and maybe Saleh concentrating more on the defense and learning from his experience with the Jets, because he did kind of get a raw deal. I was having a lot of conversation about this on social media, as a matter of fact, and more people blame Woody Johnson for the Jets' woes than any other person. More than Aaron Rodgers, more than Robert Saleh, more than Jeff Ulbrich, more than Nathaniel Hackett, more than anybody.
There was a lot of talk, about the GA.
It's like they're Jerry Jones East or something like that, turning into. It's not a good look. So they got to fix shit over there. And Aaron Glenn, hopefully will do that. But yeah, the Jaguars, we'll see who they go ahead and get. The Raiders, I don't know. I wrote down Flores, Spagnuolo, possibly. I think they need a tough defensive guy, even though they just had one in Antonio Pierce. But
they did, yeah.
Go get a quarterback and then get an offensive. If you're going to get an offensive coach, make sure you draft a quarterback.
I know it's not going to happen, but what do you think about Jared Mayo?
About who?
Jared Mayo.
Gerard Mayo.
Gerard Mayo. They did him a little dirty.
They did. I don't think he's going to get a look now. I think he needs a year off, and I think that unfortunately, most likely for him, his next move is going to be probably as a coordinator, because he just got that one shot. And again, it wasn't fair. They really did.
It wasn't fair, no.
No, because they told him, like, yo, when Belichick is out of here, you're in. And you give the guy 1 year with a rookie quarterback and no weapons? Come on.
And I mean, it was a bad team. Let's not get confused. But I like the defense looked really good sometimes. And that was really, I thought, was his specialty there. So
yeah, when they were on the field for 40 minutes, then, it's
you start to make good plays when you play on defense so much.
That's what's up, man. Shit, I'm telling you. Yo, so
if they can get Hunter and have Gonzalez at cornerback, that is a very nice start.
No doubt. That would be beautiful. That talk shutdown city right there, man.
Oh shit! And if they start catching, start catching like late third and fourth round picks on DEs and DTs that just do well, you never know. You just never know.
You never know. Look, Bill Belichick's not drafting anymore, and he sucked at it for a long time. So we know that they can probably not do any worse, or hopefully not for their sake. Jeez.
That wasn't his strong point at all.
What a fall from grace. Bye-bye Tom Brady. Bye-bye Belichick. Bye-bye winning seasons. Just out of here. Gone.
They had their time.
Yeah, and their time is gone, man. Look, it lasted, 22 years? Won 6 championships. I was talking, my God, anybody who makes the argument that Tom Brady is not the best of all time, just go ahead and tell them that he's got more Super Bowl wins than the AFC South and NFC South combined.
Yeah, that's the goal. You don't have to like Tom Brady. You don't have to like what he looks like. You don't have to like his style of play, but you do have to respect the championships and the Super Bowls. That's what the goal is.
And the fact, look, the most impressive thing to me is that the first year that he goes to Tampa Bay, they win the Super Bowl. That to me was amazing. They weren't
and now that he owns some of it, they're good.
Unreal, man. Unreal.
Because that shit is contagious.
Alex mentioned, by the way, Todd Monken for the Raiders job. I have heard his name, Todd Monken, OC for the Ravens, maybe going to the Raiders. We'll see. Very interesting.
I mean, we know decent, pretty good coaches there are out there, OCs and DCs. It's the problem is the transfer, the transition to the head coaches where it usually has the problem.
That's the thing, man. You never know who's going to be good and who's not, and you got to take a chance sometimes. You just don't know.
The thing, when you're the head of the laundry at the hotel, you might be the shit. They put you at the front desk. You got to manage the whole hotel. It's going to be a different story.
Yeah, that's right, man. I like your analogy right there.
Yeah.
Good shit. Good shit. I don't know how this came up, but I was thinking just yesterday, as a matter of fact, so I wrote it down. Maybe not the worst draft class for quarterbacks of all time, but by far and away the most overhyped and overrated. The 2021 class where Trevor Lawrence went first, and he is the only one in that first round who remains with the same team because Zach Wilson went second. Bye-bye. Trey Lance third. Yep. Justin Fields went, right? Fields went 11th to the Bears, and Mac Jones 15th to the Patriots.
And that was, at the time, was huge. Great quarterback class.
It was like they're comparing it to the 83 draft class and everything. I mean, look at what happened. And even Trevor Lawrence not even playing well right now. What's going on?
I know. What a shame. Usually the first guy does the best, but he went down. I think he went downhill.
Yeah, I mean, he has been injured, but I'm not going to put it all on that. He has not been playing well this year, and one playoff win in his 4 years there. I'm sorry, not good enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I know injuries are. Believe me, I've had my injury problems, and it's kept me out of competitive games and things like that. So I understand, but that's just part of the game. You gotta be ready. You gotta be flexible. You gotta play with pain, and if you're that hurt, you just can't play.
Nobody's pain-free even after week 1 in the NFL. All right, everybody's hurt after week 1. It's just a matter if you're injured, which is
that's right. Yeah, I mean, people play with pain all the time. So.
What would you go with the best quarterback rivalry of all time? I mean, growing up for me, it was Steve Young and Brett Favre. That was the clash of the Titans right there. As I grew older, it became Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. I think that's probably it. Because I asked that question because we have Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes going at it again. Now, Mahomes has owned them in the postseason 3-0. But I mean, these guys are 27, 28 years old. They're going to be playing each other for another 7-8 years, probably.
Another 7-8, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, they may end up being the greatest of all time if Josh Allen starts getting wins. And much like Peyton Manning, he wasn't beating the Patriots in the beginning. The Patriots owned them. Brady and those guys owned them. It wasn't until, which ironically in Indianapolis, where they were down 21-3 at halftime, the Colts. I'll never forget Asante Samuel returning that touchdown. They come back. The Patriots go for it famously on 4th and 2. Don't get it. Interception ends the game. Colts win. They go on to win the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Alex says Aikman, Montana. See, that's a good matchup, but Aikman, Montana didn't square off as much.
Right, it was one after the other, kind of, wasn't it?
Yeah, because Montana ended up going to the Chiefs in '92, and that's when the Cowboys started taking off. But definitely a good matchup. I think of actually Jim Kelly and Dan Marino. That was a good one.
Yeah.
For a while,
Oh man, in division, that's the thing, right?
Yeah, you gotta like that shit.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco and Ben Roethlisberger. How about, I mean, that was a good one.
Poor Jim Kelly. I feel bad for Jim Kelly, even when I was a Niner watching him, because I just feel like this guy's a really good quarterback, and his kicker has destroyed his career.
Unbelievable. And that's why I'm pulling for the Bills, man. That's why I'm pulling for the Bills, no doubt.
Yeah, it's time for the Bills, is what it is, right? But like you have like 60% of like the United States, at least, is behind Jaden Daniels right now.
Oh my God. Man, I'll tell you right now, I'd love to see Bills Commanders. I think that'd probably be the most exciting. We're going to talk about Jalen Hurts and the Eagles in that game in a little while. Jalen Hurts not 100%, and that definitely plays a factor. There's no doubt. But I know you got some stats in the Hall of Fame. I want to read a few names off, starting with Eric Allen, who has been on for how long now? A former cornerback for the Eagles, Raiders, and Saints. He's been for how long?
No, I was just teasing. He's been a finalist 2 times, but he's been on the ballot 19 times. Eric Allen.
Right.
Yeah. And
he was old when I was.
He played for the Saints. He played for the Raiders. Eagles, Saints, right.
He was old when I was a kid. So, I don't know if he was one of the best cornerbacks that ever played. I mean, he may have been the top 10 in his time, but I'm not sure about that. The next guy on the list, Jared Allen. Now, he played for the Chiefs, the Vikings, the Bears, the Panthers. He's good buddies with our buddies, Kevin and Pat Williams. Yeah. Jared Allen was really, really, really good, but I don't know if he's Hall of Fame worthy. What do you think?
He's been a finalist 5 times, so some people think
5 times, huh?
From 2021 to 2025, he has been on the ballot, and the thing with Jared, his years of eligibility is only 5 years, so he's only been on the 5 years. He seems like he's someone that could make it, and we want to dig into his stats. I can do that real quick. He was a Buck Buchanan Award winner, a Big Sky Conference Defensive Player of the Year out of Idaho State, 4th round draft pick, 126th overall by the Chiefs. 12 years in the NFL, started 181 out of 187 games. Nice, almost an Iron Man.
Yeah.
Member of the Panthers, 2015 NFC Championship team. Started in Super Bowl 50. He had 1 tackle, 1 QB hit in that game. Led the NFL in sacks twice. 2007 for the Chiefs. He was the team MVP. NFL Alumni Player, 2009. 6 interceptions, fumble recovery, TD, 58 passes defensed, and 136 sacks.
Wow.
Tied for the record for career safeties. 4 or 5 Pro Bowl nods. Named first team All-Pro 4 times. 2007, 2008, 2009, and 2011.
You know what? Maybe he does deserve to get in. That's why he's been a finalist for 5 years. And Alex,
5 years in a row, finalist. So
Alex.
We just talked about Eric Allen, and he was on the ballot 19 times, a finalist twice. So we might have a difference there.
That's a big difference. Yeah. All right. Alex thinks that Jared Allen should get in. All right. Very interesting. All right. Let's go through a few more of these. Willie Anderson, for me, should get in. I'm surprised that he hasn't yet. He was a stud offensive tackle, but he played for the Bengals most of his career, and they were really bad, obviously. And then he went to the Ravens for a while. But Willie Anderson stuck out to me as being really, a top lineman. So I think that he should get in. Is he going to get in? I don't know.
I don't know. For the people listening, he's been a finalist 4 times.
Okay.
2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. He has been on the ballot 12 times, which is, kind of disheartening for him. He's waiting for that thing to pop on.
I think he gets in. I think
you're right.
I don't think Jari Evans gets in. He's another offensive lineman. He played for the Saints and the Packers. He never stood out to me as one of the top linemen in the league. It wasn't like he was squashing people, pancaking guys on SportsCenter or nothing like that. Not that you need to do that to be a great player, but for me, Jari Evans, no. But the next guy, Antonio Gates, this guy should be in, no doubt. I mean, he's one of the best tight ends, pass-catching tight ends of all time.
Hands down. I don't know why he hasn't been in yet, to be honest with you. 2 years of finalist, 2 years of eligibility. Yeah. I mean, his stats speak for themselves. He's clearly one of the best tight ends to ever play this game.
He's getting in this year. I have no doubt about it. To me,
I would vote for him.
Gates, I don't know. How could he not be in? He was a dominant tight end and probably the best tight end when they were playing. I don't know.
Yeah,
a guy who probably deserves to get in, but I'm not sure if he will because of the competition, is Torrey Holt. I know he put up monster numbers and they were part of the greatest show on turf.
Yep.
Torrey Holt, for the Rams and then finished his career with the Jaguars, so no big deal. But with the Rams, him and Isaac Bruce, they were the show with Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk.
Yeah, that was a great team. I mean, if you ever played Madden, I'm sure you loved the
draft. Oh, yeah, man. Sure.
Because I would do the fantasy draft always in Madden. I don't want to play with a team. I want to make my own team.
Yeah.
Corey Holt was, he was always one of my guys. Him or Isaac Bruce were always one of the guys I took.
Yep.
He's been a finalist 6 times, and he's been eligible 11 times, which is very strange.
Wow. Interesting.
I would think that he would do it. 8 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons.
See, that's monstrous right there.
That by itself is a reason to be in there.
Yeah, he should be in. All right, we'll see if he gets in. There's another wide receiver, a couple of more wide receivers we're going to talk about. But next I want to get to on my list over here, and I guess I'm going in alphabetical order, is Luke Kuechly. Now, he had a short career, but he was as dominant a player on the field as anyone was. He was one of the best players on the field every time he stepped on it. I know he played for, maybe 7-8 years, Kenny? Am I right about that?
Let's see. NFL career, 2012 to 2019. 7 years is correct. 7-8 years. 8 seasons, 118 games from Boston College, drafted in the first round, 9th overall.
9th overall, and he lived up to it. He was the middle linebacker. He was the quarterback of that Carolina Panthers defense. He was fan-freaking-tastic. He
was an incredible defensive player, man.
No doubt. He should get in right now, no question.
He really should. And you know what? The first time because I told you I missed a lot of football between 2000 and 2014. I just couldn't watch football. I had a lot of shit going on. I just checked out because I can't half-ass something, right?
You had a life.
So, he was one of the guys that I kind of missed. And then when Rome Odunze was taken 9th and I was doing the draft, I'm like, all right, well, let me see who was taken 9th. This guy have a chance to do anything?
Uh-huh.
Kuechly was one of the guys that I saw at 9th. And I was like, now that's a great 9th pick.
Kuechly was unbelievable, no doubt. The next guy I'm going to mention is as controversial as you can possibly get. It's a quarterback. Really? It's a Super Bowl champion 2 times, but to me has never been the best quarterback or even a top 5 quarterback when he was playing, and that is Eli Manning. Eli fucking Manning. I know what he did was legendary, beating the Patriots twice, especially the undefeated team. Yeah. Unbelievable. I mean,
he's the anti-hero.
He really is, right? I mean, unreal. So, look, I know that Eli is going to get in. I don't know when, and I don't believe he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and a lot of people would argue that. A lot of Giants fans obviously would argue that point, that Eli, how do you leave him out? 2-time Super Bowl champion, takes down the Patriots, the 17-0 Patriots, whatever the fuck that record was at that point. I get all that, but he really only got to the playoffs, I think, 4 times in his career. I'm not exactly sure what the numbers are, but they weren't in the playoffs a lot, and when they did get in, they were one and done usually. He just was never standing out to me as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm sorry.
You're absolutely right, and it's hard to be when your brother is who he is, right?
No doubt.
It's got to be something, but here's the thing. What a great thing for him to have done, though. He can't compete with his brother, but he can beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. That's awesome. Man. You also have to respect he was a first pick overall.
Yeah, he was.
That's nice. He also played 210 consecutive starts, which for me is the things that I like. That's the stuff I like.
You know what's bullshit? He would have played more. He got benched for Geno Smith in that one game.
I remember that. Somebody just brought that up.
What the hell is going on right now? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Ruining his consecutive game streak. That was a mess. You're right. He played hurt all the time.
I don't know if it was here on this show, but I thought we just heard a story about that and how he sat himself because he was pissed. That's what I heard. And he's like, go ahead.
I think he wouldn't go into the game in the second half.
Okay, there you go. I knew it was something. Yeah.
Well, Alex got something to say. He's a big Giants fan. He may get in, though, because there is not really an offensive player this year that stands out other than Kevin Winslow.
Yeah.
Well,
Steve Smith Smith is there, who I like, but he's not really. I wouldn't say he did what he did for very long. I mean, he played for he played for 16 seasons, so I guess I'm wrong about that.
Well, no. But Eli played, and he played every game. He was tough. He played.
His return yards were part of why he was really good too. If you remember his returning.
Whose?
Steve Smith, he accumulated more than 4,000.
Okay. I didn't even know you jumped him.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you jumped him. He was actually next on my list who played for the Panthers and Raiders.
Sorry about that. I jumped.
No, that's fine actually because because you can only pick 5 guys to get in. I already got
that's really what the problem is, right?
Yeah,
that's the problem.
They should allow more. They really should.
Agreed. Why is there only 5? What is this rule of only letting 5 people in? I don't understand.
I guess they're trying to be exclusive and elite, but other guys deserve to get in. But Willie Anderson is one of mine. Antonio Gates is one of mine. Luke Kuechly is one of mine. Steve Smith is my 4th. Steve Smith Sr., as he likes to be called now. That guy, he played. I mean, he did get hurt a lot, but he was freaking awesome. He was absolutely amazing. I think he's top 10 all-time in receiving yards. Went to a Super Bowl, almost beat the Patriots that year with him and Mushin Muhammad. But Steve
only
Smith,
rookie chosen to the 2002 Pro Bowl.
Really? How about that? All right, I like that. It's a stat I didn't know right there. Would you put him in?
Steve Smith? Nah, not yet. But only because I feel like one of the guys coming up later is going to go in.
I know who you're talking about.
I think you know who I'm talking about as well. And so I don't have that space. I don't have the spot. But that's what we're talking about. He'd be in easily. But I don't think I have the spot for him.
I think that he deserves to get in maybe a little bit slightly over him, maybe given the quarterbacks that he played. I mean, this guy played with Jake Delhomme and Joe Flacco. Yeah. I mean, like, whatever. I mean, regardless, I know who you're talking about. He deserves it as well. But my 5th guy who deserves to get in this year, and what's up to McNiner over here, and Alex, I will get to the kicker in a minute. Adam Vinatieri's coming up on the list, but Terrell Suggs for the Baltimore Ravens, and somehow finished off his career with the Cardinals and Chiefs. But when he was with the Ravens, he was dominant. Him and Ray Lewis were the best tandem linebacking crew in the NFL, and for a long time, they were great. He was great. He sacked the quarterback constantly, had double digits usually every year. Suggs, to me, is an NFL Hall of Famer.
Well, let's dig into him then real quick. Terrell Suggs, times a finalist, 1. Year of eligibility 1. He was outside linebacker. NFL career, he played 17 seasons, 244 games. First round, 10th overall pick in 2003. Let's see what he's done here. I don't want to talk about college, so let's just move on. He won the 2003 AP Defensive Rookie of the Year award, which is always nice. Made the NFL All-Rookie team. Yep. In 2011, he won the Defensive Player of the Year award. Named First Team All-Pro. He had 14 sacks that year, 20 tackles, 7 forced fumbles, 23 QB hits. He returned from an Achilles tendon tear in 2012 to play 8 games, plus the playoffs that year, helping the Ravens to the victory in that Super Bowl. Yeah. He was the comeback player of the year after that, so he don't fool around. The man was just hurt.
This guy's ridiculous.
He doesn't lose a step, yeah. The guy couldn't stand. It's the only reason he wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, he's ugly as hell, but he can play football, man. I'll tell you that right now. He deserves to get in my opinion. There's no doubt. He has,
currently 12th all-time, unofficially, 202 tackles for a loss, according to Pro Football Reference and NFL record. Wow. That's ridiculous.
Wow, that is so ridiculous. Man, he was fast, strong. He can go north, south, east, west, everything. He's phenomenal, no doubt. Love it. Yeah, great job on the stats right there, Kenny. Great job. All right, let's breeze through these next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 real quick. Fred Taylor, to me, was a really good running back who started for the Jaguars for a while. Him, Mark Brunell, Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardell had a really good offense. He finished his career with the Pats. Yeah, Fred Taylor was really good, but not great, excellent, amazing, not Hall of Fame. I'm sorry, Fred Taylor. As good as you are, you're not a Hall of Famer, in my opinion.
I mean, when I think of those years where they were running backs, he's not the guy that I would even have. And he was very good, don't get me wrong, but like if I'm not taking him as my running back with the running backs that were around when he played. Nothing against him personally. He was very good. Funny story about Fred Taylor, though. I don't know how funny it is, but he was talking to Brandon Ayuk and Jaden Daniels because remember in the beginning of the year they were hanging out because BA wanted to leave.
All right. Okay.
And so they were talking to Fred Taylor and they were talking about their signing bonuses, and you know how ridiculous signing bonuses are today. Fred Taylor had to stop and be like, yo, my signing bonus was like $836. And these guys laughed in his face.
Oh, man, they weren't getting paid in the 90s, man.
Yo, really Papa J, thank you so much for stopping by, buddy.
No doubt, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, so Fred Taylor, he's got that funny story about him, so I feel really bad for him. Geez. Because that's brutal. Because we had some monsters playing back then, and they did not get what they deserved.
Yeah. Fred Taylor, really good player, but just not Hall of Fame worthy. I'm sorry, not in my opinion. Alex mentioned the next guy that we're going to talk about for a minute over here, and that's a kicker. And I do believe that Adam Vinatieri deserves to be in. Absolutely do. But
Agreed.
is this his first year or second year in the ballot? Because either way, I mean, he can. My point is, he can wait. A kicker can wait. Other guys need to get in before him.
You're not wrong about a kicker waiting, but what a kicker, right? It says times finalist 1, year of eligibility 1. I don't know if they're talking about this year. So maybe he has been one time. But what I will say about Vinatieri is what I've said before, which I love about him. And I love undrafted free agents, okay?
Yeah, I know you do. You got a real affinity for him.
And we'll slow it down because he's a kicker. A lot of kickers don't get drafted. That's not that big a deal. But my man was undrafted and wound up being the highest scoring player in NFL history. I think he is still today.
I know. How do you not have a guy who...
How do you not have in the Hall of Fame the guy who has the most points in the NFL?
I agree, but I'm waiting for a year where the class is a little bit weaker. I mean, that guy, again, there are players that we have already mentioned that deserve to get in over him, in my opinion, that were more impactful, even though Adam Vinatieri was very impactful, there's no doubt. No doubt about it. Yeah, David McNiner over here. Yeah, I remember when a big contract was $5 million a season. Now the norm is $50 million. It's ridiculous.
I know.
Even quarterbacks are getting $50 million.
That $5 million isn't even the signing bonus anymore. It's like 3 times that.
$5 million is nothing. They sneeze at that. What are you kidding me?
Yeah, because after taxes, and these guys, they go buy a couple cars and they buy mom a house, and you got shit.
Man. Freaking that's what you got to do, man. You get that money, spend that money. And, Reggie Wayne made a lot of money in his career, and that's the guy that you were alluding to before, I have no doubt, who is fantastic and got overshined a little bit by Marvin Harrison when he really shouldn't have, because Reggie Wayne in his own coming out of the U in Miami was amazing to start with. And when Harrison left, Reggie Wayne became the exclusive one, and he lived up to that no problem. So do I believe that Reggie Wayne is a Hall of Famer? Yeah. But the 5 guys that I mentioned before, and I'll say them again real quick for those who didn't listen: Willie Anderson, Antonio Gates, Luke Kuechly, Steve Smith Sr., and Terrell Suggs. I got him a little bit over Reggie Wayne right now, but I do believe that he is going to be a Hall of Famer.
6 times a finalist, 6 years of eligibility.
Wow.
So he's had his chance.
He's close. He's close. All right,
he might have some enemies. He might have some enemies out there. I mean, did you hear Derek Jeter didn't get unanimously voted into the Hall of Fame?
Right. Neither did Ichiro Suzuki. Both of them should have got unanimous.
Both should have gotten it. Absolutely.
It's so ridiculous. It's almost like they're all in cahoots or something.
The people the people who are voting on this are like writers and old coaches and shit it's just weird stuff.
They're talking about.
It's a weird club,
Garbage. All right, we got 2 more real quick, and then we're going to go through starting with the games, man. We got to get to the Commanders, Eagles, and we got to get to the Bills and Chiefs. So here we go in a couple of minutes. But Darren Woodson, really good safety for the Cowboys for a while, but just not a Hall of Famer. I mean, he was a hard hitter, no doubt about it, man. He would knock the shit out of you. He would give you snot bubbles. There's no question about it. And he had a pick or two in his day. He definitely did. But
you know who reminds me of? Sort of like a, well, I know he was a safety, so it's not exactly the same, but he kind of reminds me of like a Dre Greenlaw, right?
He's kind of, similar players. Yeah, you're right. He is a safety, but similar type players, sure.
Yeah, he's a mean dude. He'll he'll knock you the hell out.
Yeah.
He's going to instigate you. Yeah. He's going to throw a penalty, instigating people, things like that. He was very good. Unfortunately,
he would get a lot of penalties now.
17 years he's been on the ballot.
See, that's what I'm saying.
That's a long time for not being considered a finalist. Only 3 times, and they don't tell us what years, but I would like to know when.
That's long enough, man. That means you're not going to get it.
Sponge, I sent the link to Levi, and I don't know what Levi does with it. I think he said he put it in your fantasy league or something like that. So I gave it to Levi already. So if you can find the link, you can pop on.
All right, that's what we're trying to do. Get Spongy on over here. We'll see if he can join us. If not, the chat as always. Darwin
there's Levi
here. What's up? He said he sent it to him, so we should have it. All right, so it looks like we're going to get him on in a little bit. And he can join us when we get into this in a second. We have one more player real quick who I think probably, but he's borderline Hall of Fame. Marshall Yanda. Marshall Yanda is borderline Hall of Fame. He was a really, really good offensive lineman. He played guard and tackle for the Ravens. And you heard his name a lot being called during games saying Marshall Yanda opening up another block for Ray Rice or whoever the hell it was. So, yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Great player. for sure. Played 13 seasons, 177 games from Iowa. He played for the Ravens apparently his entire season. Now that Levi's here, he'll appreciate it. 177 game career. He after playing only 2 games in 2017, he rebounded in 2018, playing 16 games and receiving the Ed Block Courage Award. Selected to 8 Pro Bowls. Named Associated Press All-Pro 2 consecutive seasons, 2014-2015. Second time All-Pro 5 times. Member of the NFL's All-Decade team of the 2010s. Played all 71 offensive snaps and 7 snaps on special teams. He was in the Super Bowl victory. He was at the victory. He won in the Super Bowl. He was there.
Yeah, man. He's fantastic. Like I say, he's Hall of Fame worthy. Will he get in this time? I don't know. There's a lot of good players out there. So
named all NFL, named all AFC. I mean, the man is a beast. So I wonder, like, is this the first year he's been on the ballot, or when they say
no? Marcion has been on for a while. Yeah,
okay, yeah.
He's been on for quite a bit now. I don't know exactly how many years, but it's been a few, and he may get in again. We'll see. It depends upon the competition, and we got competition this weekend, baby. We got 2 great games. We're gonna bring in Spongy right now. He's ready. What we're going to do first, as we bring in Spongy and say hello to him. What's up, man?
Yo, what up, guys?
Spongy, it's good to have you, bro. You can talk now, and nobody's gonna interrupt you. How do you feel about that?
I just got done practice, kind of.
Okay. You know. I can tell you're in the gym.
Yeah. So
that's
what it is.
You want to start with the Eagles so we can get Spongy out of here if he wants?
We could do that. We could start with the Eagles game. There's no problem with that at all. Well, let's rock and roll with the Eagles and Commanders, man. I mean, we got a lot to talk about. But before we get to the game, I did want to actually do some really quick rankings with you guys, all right? So we have 4 teams. I want to rank who's got the best quarterbacks 1 through 4, wide receivers and tight ends, so pass catchers, running backs, defense, and coaches. So let's run through it quickly. I think that quarterbacks right now, Josh Allen is playing the best, even though Patrick Mahomes is really better usually on any given Sunday. But I would take Allen right now. I take Mahomes second. I take Jaden Daniels third over Jalen Hurts because in part he's hurt and he has not been throwing the ball really well. Now he's running it really well, but so is Jaden Daniels, and he's been deadly accurate, doing amazing things. So I would have Bills, Chiefs, Commanders, and Eagles in that order as far as quarterbacks.
Honestly, I would still have Hurts at 4, only because, well, he's hurt and he's been hurt for the last few years, you can say. But I honestly would have Daniels over Mahomes, if that's a reach.
I think I'm with you on that one. Jaden has been special this year, and the only time he wasn't special is when he hurt his rib for like 3 or 4 games.
Exactly.
I don't like Mahomes in this house.
Yeah, no.
I don't have a problem with you guys putting Daniels over Mahomes, Spongy. I think that's fine because Jaden Daniels is playing. It feels like he's playing as good a quarterback as you can right now. And Mahomes as fantastic, wonderful, great, everything, all the superlatives you can throw out there. But he's not playing his best football.
I also have a bias against Mahomes, but I think most of us have that same exact bias.
Yeah, Mahomes is more looking like a Jimmy G this season, like a Sam Darnold. Although, look, I don't want to take that away because Sam Darnold put up the numbers, so I don't want to do that to Sam Darnold. But he kind of was playing like a little Jimmy G this year, the dinking and the dunking and the.
Yeah. Is that really a compliment? He was playing like Jimmy G. Is that
not at all?
No,
not at all.
Exactly. So no, that's not good. So how about wide receiver, tight end, Spongy? Why don't you take this one first? So we're doing pass catchers right now. Out of the Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, Commanders, and, I can name the receivers for you real quick. Eagles got, Brown, Smith, Goddard. You want to throw Gainwell and Saquon in there in the passing game. The Chiefs with Hollywood Brown, Kelsey, Hopkins, Gray, Worthy. Bills got Shakir, Coleman, Cooper, Kincaid, Samuel. And Commanders with McLaurin, really their top guy. And then you have a lot of receivers who are playing well, like Zacchaeus and De'Ami Brown.
Yeah, you got McCaffrey's okay, and Ertz is there. Not bad.
I think 3 and 4. I think the 3 spot and the 4 spot can be interchangeable between Bills and Commanders.
I agree.
And I think, honestly, respectfully, us number 1 and Chiefs 2.
I have exactly what he has, Kenny. I got Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, Commanders.
It's hard to argue that.
It is 3 and 4 very interchangeable. we just got to use, since we're in the Kellen Moore system right now, we just got to use AJ Brown more. But in a system of Kellen Moore, he uses his wide receiver 2 more.
Yo, listen, you got to get AJ Brown easy catches like slants and little hitches.
Yes.
That's all you got to do. Get him involved.
It's what the Ravens didn't do with Zay Flowers.
It's the system. It's the system, and we can't fight the system right now. Honestly, we got to go with what we've been doing all year.
Yeah, and you take what you can get. So the first wide receiver is usually getting bottled up pretty good.
Yeah,
that's why Nick Sirianni won't win Coach of the Year, and that's why
he just real quick too. I just want to.
It's not him. It's not him making that play call. It's not him making that call.
No, what I'm saying is that he's just. I feel like he's got less of a grip. Like Kellen Moore's handling the offense, Vic Fangio's handling the defense.
When Sirianni was handling the offense, it was very, very sloppy. Very, very sloppy.
I agree.
So with Kellen Moore, it's much better.
Yeah, and you know what? When they had Shane Steichen, things were running really well there also. There's no doubt.
I say that I had this argument because I got asked by a Rams fan a couple days ago. Kind of knows him, Rudy. He said, "Oh, it seems like Jalen Hurts has kind of regressed. Do you think that's more of a why do you think that's happening?" So I said, one, I think the scheme definitely, and I said he's had how many coordinators in the last few years? He hasn't had stability at that position.
You're right.
In however long. And that's why I don't want Kellen Moore to get a head coaching job, because even if Kellen Moore isn't the best offensive coordinator, we just need stability.
Very interesting. Okay, so you like the way things are working out.
And the other thing is injured. His knee has been a problem since his second year starting. It's been a problem since the Super Bowl year. So it's
a problem now. In the third quarter against the Rams.
But it has been something that's looming over the last few years. It's never been fixed.
And we're going to talk about that game after we get to these rankings and Jalen Hurts' impact on the game, how important it is, and what's going to happen. And I know Spongy, you'll have a lot of insight on that. So that's the pass catching group. Kenny, why don't you start us off with the run game, where you got again Eagles, Bills, Commanders, and Chiefs. Who's your 1 through 4?
I got to go Eagles, because now that Hurts isn't really passing as much, he's going to be a threat to run even more, I think.
Correct. And he's included in the running game.
It's not going to help anybody when you got Saquon up there, too.
Right. And this is not just running backs. This is running game total. So Hurts is absolutely included, and Gainwell's included in that, too. Look, he looks like he weighs about 45 pounds, and he gains 10 yards a clip. I don't know how he does it.
I love that guy. He's their Jahmyr Gibbs next year.
He gains gains yards well.
Yeah, I've been talking about the Gainwell for a little bit. Spongy knows that. I do have to put Philly first. I might have to put the Bills second.
All right, I'm with you.
Right. And then I may have to go, you know what? I really like the third and second running backs as well on the Redskins, so I'm going to put them third.
And Jaden Daniels, B-Rob. You got, I think it's Gonzalez or Rodriguez is there. Austin Eckler. You got Austin Eckler there, who's been coming on lately, right?
Unbelievable. Austin Eckler, and we haven't even heard about him all year.
Yeah, that's right. So, Spongy, I'm with him. I got Eagles, Bills, Commanders, Chiefs. What do you got?
So, I got the Eagles, of course, 1, and that's strictly off of Saquon. That's not, because we're going to have to play without Gainwell, because he's not going to be here next year. He's a free agent.
Yeah, so they're probably not going to feature him very much. You're probably right about that.
Yeah, but also, he's not going to be back next year. I can tell you that already. He's not coming back.
He's too good.
He has had a beef with fans over the past few years as well. Going on his phone and at halftime, beefing with fans on Instagram. And we have another back behind him, Will Shipley, who is perfectly fine. But
there's nothing wrong with Shipley.
And then and for some of the runs he's had this year, he's been pretty good. And then I got the Bills, just James Cook alone. I think he's a really big threat. Yep.
Very underrated. Very underrated.
And then I forget the Chiefs. It hasn't been Pacheco.
It's been Kareem, right? Kareem Hunt is
Kareem Hunt.
Yep.
I think that tandem has potential if it's just Pacheco, but he's very injury prone this year at least. So I got to go with the Commanders with just B-Rob I think 3 and 4 is also very interchangeable as well with the Chiefs and the Commanders.
All right. Yeah, the Chiefs usually are a much better running team. Pacheco has been hurt, obviously. Kareem Hunt, came off the street, for that matter, or whatever. And
Unbelievable.
he's getting a little older, obviously, so he's not as good as he used to be. But
the fact that they were able to pick up Kareem Hunt and nobody else wanted him was amazing.
The Chiefs do that. They just figure that shit out. They're able to pick up guys and they become great again all of a sudden. It's amazing. I don't know how they do it. But, yeah, their run game hasn't really been there. Mahomes is going to give you, a weird waggle sideline, fake you out, try to get a penalty type of shit, so he'll get some yards rushing also. But looks like we all agree on that. And, who we got? Tyler McGurk, what up? Go Niners. Let's go, baby. He knows what's up right now. Tyler, good to see you, man. We are ranking right now. We went through the quarterbacks, the pass catchers, the run game, and now we're doing the defense. So, with the defense, Spongy, why don't you start us off, man? I have a feeling I know where you're going number one.
Respectfully, number one. Then, first of all, I think he's the only defensive coach besides Aaron Glenn, who's now a head coach, who is on the assistant coach of the year in the top 5 for that. And I can tell you, I bet he's going to win. But I got to go with the Eagles at number 1.
Yeah.
And then I think, the Bills, honestly. The Bills aren't – actually, no. I got to go Chiefs. And then 3 and 4, interchangeable. Honestly, I think 2, 3, and 4 are all interchangeable between the Commanders, Chiefs, and Bills.
Commanders-Bills, they kind of came on in the second half, Commanders-Bills, I think.
They both started playing a little bit better. The Commanders have their issues against the run, and we'll talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Buffalo,
they have a ton
too.
Of issues.
Yeah, so I got Commanders 3 and 4. Eagles number 1. Look, they went from the 30th ranked defense to the first ranked defense.
And that's why I think that's why Fangio gets the assistant coach of the year award over guys like Ben Johnson.
Wow.
Because Ben Johnson's been doing it for a few years. Fangio, his team was 30th ranked last year. Now it's number 1.
Wow.
No
doubt. I agree. That's
linebackers. I think our linebackers are just too filthy. No matter who's in, who's out. If it's Zach Bond and Trotter, if it's Zach Bond, Nicholas Moreau, even if Nakobe Dean's in there when he's not hurt, if she's hurt right now. So, which hasn't really been an issue. I was telling everyone last game it wouldn't be an issue, but everyone still thought it was going to be somewhat of an issue. It never was. We have Zach Bond, who's up there for Defensive Player of the Year.
He is. I know. I can't believe that. I feel like Jalen Carter should get that nod over him.
Is he even on there?
I don't think he is, actually.
I don't think he is. Yeah. No.
It's a little weird.
And that's why I think Carter's gonna see that, even though you really shouldn't care about that, like Sirianni said earlier today.
Carter is a game wrecker, and I put again
Carter,
Eagles. Go ahead.
But Carter, he's gonna take that, and he's gonna say, "Ooh, I didn't get put up for this award. I'm gonna show it in this Commanders game." And I bet you, I'm telling you right now, he's gonna have 3 sacks, especially because the right guard is out. He's out.
Okay, so that's a good stat. There you go.
Is gonna destroy Jaden Daniels at least 2 to 3 times.
Very interesting. All right, got to catch that skinny guy. He's fast, but you know what? If anybody could do it, he could do it. Somebody else who could do it. I got the Chiefs at number 2, and Spongy, you would go in there. Chris Jones is a beast. He is so underrated. That guy is so good.
Old.
There are numbers on him that I'm not going to go through right now because I don't want to bore people. But let me just tell you that when he's on the field, as to opposed to when he's off the field, the defensive numbers are drastically different when Chris Jones is on the field. It is absolutely insane. I was looking at him today. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I know how good he is, but that's fucking good.
Something that's been happening for a few years.
Yeah, he's great. He's still underrated.
They want him back.
They talk about Kelsey and Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Yet again, no one wants to talk about anyone on that team because, people are
tired of them. I know. Everybody in America, except for the people living in Missouri, are rooting for the Bills this weekend. There's no question.
And Taylor Swift fans, but
Yeah.
And the rest.
But, they also got McDuffie and Bolton. They got a lot of good guys, but I got the Commanders 3rd, actually, over the Bills because the Bills have so many injuries still. I know they got Milano back, And you still got Greg Russo on the line and other guys and Ed Oliver. I'm totally with that. Totally understand that.
Russo is nasty.
He is, absolutely. Really, really
I don't
good.
know. I think it's got to be Eagles, Chiefs,
Bills, Commanders.
And Bills, Commanders.
I think, like Spongy said, they're kind of interchangeable for me. I think
Yeah,
Bobby Wagner really stepped up for Washington this year.
But they're going to have to find a guy to replace him.
Bobby Wagner also got trucked pretty good in that game. So, look, I'm not going to
get trucked by Baker.
Yeah,
Baker did truck him.
How old is he? Is he 36, 37 years old?
He's still playing. Look what he's doing. Look at this.
Hey, we would have taken him on the Niners. We just couldn't get him.
Got to give Dan Quinn a lot of credit, man.
I just don't think you guys would have had faith in him, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
You would have had him sit.
I don't even know if I can stand seeing Bobby Wagner in a 49ers uniform. I'm not even sure if I can handle that. I might throw up all over the place. How much he hurt us throughout the past decade. But what are you going to do? All right, so that's defense, and we all pretty much agree. But 3 and 4 Commanders, Bills, whichever way you want to go. But we all like
special teams.
Special. That's an interesting one. I mean, if you
talk about special teams for the Eagles, do it.
Well, I think every single kicker this year has absolutely sucked. And they're very inconsistent. I don't know if it's something they made a change to the ball, which they might have, honestly. But respectfully, I think every special team's interchangeable. I think Zane Gonzalez might be one of the better kickers in the playoffs right now. Of course, I think Jake Elliott is good, but he has just had so many issues this year, especially on the extra point. I don't know if it might also just be his age, but if he was the only kicker doing it, I would understand, but a lot of kickers are doing it.
Yeah, I don't listen, bro. I don't feel very confident when Jake Elliott steps up to kick a field goal. I'm like, all right, this can go either way. It's 50-50 for me.
Yeah, there's a weak spot.
It's just so weird because he can miss an extra point, which he did in the last game, and then he can go make a 50-yarder.
Right.
It's very inconsistent.
Right. Talk about any given Sunday, any given kick for him.
And I think they're gonna make another change to the ball, or whatever happened with the kickers this year. They're gonna fix that so it's better next year. At least I hope they do, because the kicker is a main part of the game.
Well, don't forget half of the kicker is the holder. And just as an example, the Niners this year, they had some major issues with the holder, and it's a lot of reason Moody missed a lot of kicks. I sent an article or a little movie to Jason a while ago, but I sent him a lot of shit. I don't know if he saw it, but it was part of the problem for Moody this year.
From what I know, our holder hasn't changed.
Oh, so that's good.
So
ours did. That was it. Ours did, because remember, we lost our punter, and that's who the holder is.
Well, we know that kicking is becoming less important. Kicking field goals, I should say, is becoming less important in the NFL, as almost every team seems to be going for it on 4th and 3 and 4th and 6, and even on their own 45-yard line. I mean, it's getting out of control.
No, what was that? I saw
it's out of control. It's way out of control, man. It is. Yeah. Look, I understand. Give me all the analytics you will, shove them up your fucking ass. I don't care.
We talked about
I don't care what the numbers say. Stop going for it on 4th and 5 from your own 42-yard line. Yeah. Pin them back. You're not making any sense unless you're down by 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. Okay, but in the 1st quarter, what is happening? What happened?
Yeah, it's all the analytics bullshit. Here's what you want to do. You want to coffin corner your opponent and let the D stuff them back there so you can get good field position. It's really just a long pass, and then you give the ball back.
I'm saying, man, I don't get it. And then you give it up, and then the next thing you know, they're in great field position.
Yeah, one first down after that, and they're in field goal range. So
that's it. That's it. You got it. Unless you're Justin Tucker, who forgot how to kick field goals all of a sudden. But that's
over 40. He's turned into our old kicker. I forgot his name already.
Got gold.
Gold. Good as gold.
So, Spongy, if you want to go ahead and close out your special teams.
Who returns the kicks for the Eagles, Spongy?
Gainwell, right? I think we lost Spongy. Maybe
he went dark because
it's Gainwell, DeJean, but it used to be Covey.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I like Gainwell with some open space like that. I do like that.
Well, I want to get into the game, guys, and we're already at the hour mark, so let's go through the coaches real quick. Andy Reid, to me, is an obvious number one. Maybe I'll surprise you a little bit with my number two, but I got him as my coach of the year, and that's Dan Quinn. I know that Washington's defense is not great, but he got them playing better as the year went on, and it's not just the offense. Look, they held Baker Mayfield and the boys to 20 points in that playoff game? That's pretty good. They were putting up 40 on everybody, so that's pretty damn good. So Dan Quinn is my number two. McDermott at 3, all right, and then I got Sirianni at 4. I like Sirianni. I like McDermott a little bit more, and I feel like Sirianni does benefit from his coordinators a lot to where he's more free to do other things, but I do question his in-game management, his clock management. I'm not a huge fan of him. I'm really not. I'm not, again, Spongy, I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm not, but I like the other 3 a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like your order, and I'm going to stick up for McDermott as well. He was named head coach in 2017, 7 playoff appearances, 5 AFC East division titles in his first 8 seasons.
That's damn good, man. No doubt.
Yeah.
Whatever division you're in, I don't care. All right? So that's pretty freaking good. I like that. Well, why don't we talk about the game? It is the 6th-ranked Commanders against Spongy's 2-ranked Eagles, 2nd-ranked Eagles. That's who I had going to the Super Bowl. Let's see if they actually do it. I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, Darren's even saying Smith would have been returning potentially. Oh, okay. All right. No doubt. You guys chime in over here. We got a lot to say about this one, so let's do it. A couple of quick stats, Kenny, let me throw at you. We both know that they can run the ball. The Eagles are pretty good against the run, but Washington has been bad for the most part all year against the run. Now, they have been getting a little bit better, but that's where the Eagles thrive. They're one of the best rushing teams in the NFL. So if Washington can't stop the run, we got a problem here. So I was watching some old game tape real quick, and, you know, the last game they played was 36-33 that Washington ended up winning. But later in the game, Washington was sending like 5-6 guys and doing a lot more run blitzing. They're going to have to do that. Otherwise, Saquon is going to eat them up. Kenny, do you know what the over-under is on Saquon Barkley's rushing yards in this game?
No, you have to know that. Don't you?
Ready for this shit? This is unbelievable. I never seen this in my life.
I knew you knew.
130. 130. That is not normal.
That's perfect because I'm thinking 139 yards minimum for Saquon.
Well, then go bet the over because you'll get it. I mean, shit. That's unbelievable. So,
yeah, man. That's the problem for the Commanders this week, isn't it? And then same with not same with the Bills, but if the Bills got to the Super Bowl, you got to deal with Saquon. They can't stop the run.
Everybody's got to deal with Saquon, and everybody's been trying to stop him all year. Spongy, I hope you can hear me if you're still there, but no matter what teams have done, they really have not been able to stop Saquon.
No. All year he's been doing that. If you guys don't know, sorry, for the people who don't, Spongy just got finished his basketball practice, so there may be maybe they're doing suicides and there's a lot of squeaking, so he went dark.
I don't know what he did. I think he muted his mic, but that's
he's on mute.
He's on mute. All right, so if you want,
we didn't talk about the other game. We haven't done that yet.
We're already on a roll, man. Let's just keep freaking rolling.
So that's what I see. I mean, right now the Eagles have the ultimate weapon. And if you can't stop them, you're going to have trouble. And the other 3 teams, I don't know how they stop them.
But here's the thing that I look at in the game that's really bothering me for the Eagles. If, in fact, Jalen Hurts really is hurt, he's got to at least pretend that he can run the ball in this game. Otherwise, Washington will stack the box because I know that Jalen Hurts can throw the ball. I've seen him do it. They got good wide receivers in Brown.
Well, you're one of the only ones who actually knows that. You're one of the only ones who actually knows that. Everyone says, oh, he's weak. He can't throw. That's everyone's criticism, only because he's running the ball a lot this year. But respectfully, when you have a guy like Saquon, you have to do that. It's how you win.
And if they have to throw the ball, I believe they can throw the ball. Jalen Hurts will be able to throw the ball in this game. So I think that whichever way they can handle Washington's defense, Washington a little bit better against the pass, but
we don't have to worry about that, honestly. The
Eagles first in total defense. Commanders are 13th. Eagles first in passing defense. Commanders are 3rd in passing defense. So, Marshawn Lattimore, a couple of the guys out there, they can still play. But this is going to be a running game. It's going to be a running game. And I think that even with running the ball a lot and time running, Kenny, a lot of points can still be scored. Yeah,
the running is going to make that game go fast, but I still think there's going to be a lot of points, like you say.
I don't see a lot of punting, Spongy. I really don't. I think that maybe a couple of turnovers, but I don't think we're going to see a punter in this game. I'm not sure.
Well, I think it all depends. Honestly, well, I think both teams are just really aggressive, and
Yeah.
Being in the same
That's-
division is really fun as well. It adds another little.
And again, these teams know each other. They coached against each other. They played against each other. They split this season, and Washington has got better. The Eagles have also got better, I believe. I just think, look, even though I like Philly in this game, I think it's a much tougher matchup than the 6 points that they're currently favored. I think it's 6 points right now. At least that's what I got. I think the Commanders hang in there, and I also.
Scared.
Here's what could be scary. I look, I like your cornerbacks, but Quinyon Mitchell is not going to be fully healthy for this game if he in fact does play. I know he practiced today, but Jaden Daniels has shown that he can throw the ball, and Terry McLaurin can get around anybody. And I would be a little scared of their passing game, and then Jaden Daniels holding the ball, taking the ball down and running with it for 13 to 18 yards.
Yeah. One quick name before we move on from this game. Calcaterra.
One of the deepest.
Calcaterra is someone I want you guys to remember in that game. And no one's going to be looking at Calcaterra in that game.
I love that last name. It's one of my favorite names. Calcaterra.
Even if we don't involve Calcaterra and we need a backup tight end to behind Goddard, we have Johnny Wilson, who has receiver speed, receiver catching, but he's 6'7".
Ooh.
Not hard to find.
Use him.
Yeah. I mean, just toss it up there.
Toss it up there. And we don't use him because he's a rookie, but yet again.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, in a game like this, I love the guys who you don't hear about all year because they're going to be active.
But
yeah, man.
I do just have a little criticism to what you said about our cornerback room. Because I think even if Quinyon doesn't play, which he will play, and supposedly he's not going to have limited snaps or nothing. Especially we have guys like Isaiah Rodgers, who's played well this year when he does play. He has had to fill in for Slay multiple times. We have him.
Is that your third guy? Like, is that your third best cornerback?
So that's our fourth guy actually.
Okay.
Because we kind of hybrid regime, safety, corner. It's hybrid. He's hybrid.
Yeah, hybrid.
It all depends. But he's in more of the game than Isaiah Rodgers is. Isaiah Rodgers is really only in there when there's an injury. And I think we're probably going to use him a little more because, respectfully, Darius Slay might get hurt again this game. Which I don't have a problem. He's been playing well this year. Rodgers has been playing well this year. And I think we have another guy behind that. I actually want to double check that real quick. Just to get this right.
I mean, one of the reasons the teams play well is because they got depth, and that sounds like depth.
Oh yeah, and they're very well coached. But here's the thing, that the Eagles can put pressure on the quarterback without blitzing. And first of all, the Eagles better not blitz because Jaden Daniels is as good as it gets against the blitz. Do not blitz that guy because he will eat you for breakfast. But
yeah, I mean, if you send a safety, be careful.
Okay, so we have
Jaden Daniels is second.
Have guys like Quinyon or.
Go ahead. What are you saying, Spongy?
Behind Quinyon, you got who?
Keely, Ringo, Eli.
I was kind of breaking up a little bit.
There he goes. I was just gonna say that's the Philly
He cut out. He cut out. What? I don't think he wanted us to hear those names, as a matter of fact, because they're not any good. And continuing with Jaden Daniels and how amazing he is. He's got the second overall quarterback rating behind Josh Allen under pressure this year. I mean, the guy is freaking absolutely phenomenal. Let me bring Spongy back in over here.
I mean, yeah. There you go.
I don't know.
You're back, Spongy. We got you, buddy.
Okay.
So, again, even if they apply that pressure, Jaden Daniels knows how to handle it. But, again, Philly overall, yeah, they're the better team. They should win this game. But if Jalen Hurts is 50%, they got a fucking problem.
Yeah,
they got a problem.
Being home is nice. They're going to need that.
They're going to need that crowd noise. You're right, Kenny. That's a good call, man. That's a good call. And you know what? They're going to get it.
But also,
crazy.
No, but also it's a third division game for both teams. It's going to be really hard.
right.
And
The third time
I
they
always
play.
have, I had this feeling against the Rams. We may lose. Dan Quinn, he has played us on multiple teams in our division.
Yeah, Dallas.
He played us with the Dallas Cowboys. He's probably played us with Atlanta, maybe once.
Very likely that you've had him.
Yeah, but he you know, he doesn't like us. He may like us, but he doesn't. He has that against us. He's gonna use it. And
He was
who
with
else
Seattle
is
too for a long time.
You know who else is in the Commanders coaching staff as the assistant, or the top assistant?
Who is it?
Brian Johnson, Eagles offensive coordinator last year, who sucked.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but he knows the offense.
He knows the offense. He was Jalen Hurts' quarterback coach, so
Yikes.
he can really expose that. Which they might try and do, but honestly, he is a little hard-headed. So I don't think he's gonna do it. But I'm still scared. I still think we could lose. And would I be mad if we lose? Yes, of course, but I'd be less mad, honestly, because we can still make fun of Cowboys fans for giving up Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore, and both of them making the NFC Championship. And now, if the Commanders make it to the Super Bowl, it's every team in our division has made the Super Bowl since the 2010s, besides the Cowboys who made it in the 90s.
That's right. That's right. What a joke. And still don't have a coach. They have no idea what's going on in Dallas, and I freaking love it. It's hysterical.
I know. What's wrong with it? They're not making any moves. They didn't do it last year.
They don't know what to do with themselves. Jerry Jones is senile. He's not sure what exactly is happening. He doesn't even know what he's going to be eating for breakfast when it's right in front of him. So it's a problem.
I think they really want Dion. Maybe they've been saving up for that.
Dion ain't going there, man. He knows he's got it way too good at Colorado. He is the fucking president of Colorado. I know this.
Yeah, but not only that, I mean, he just started. Like, why would you leave so fast? Enjoy it, right?
Yeah, man, absolutely enjoy it. But look, I know his son is going, and some other, like, he thinks Travis Hunter is like his son also.
Probably
Maybe
like
that
his
makes him
son's best friend, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like that, really. But as far as going and picking this game, because I want to get to Bills and Chiefs, a big thing is the quarterback running. So again, if Jalen Hurts can show that he can run, I think that they'll be fine. If he's not able to run the ball and it's just Saquon, there could be a problem if Washington decides to run blitz, and they showed that they could do that, even though they gave up 33 points in their last meeting. They showed that they were able to do that. They knocked him in the backfield quite a few times, Saquon Barkley, for a loss of 4, 5, 6 yards. So it is possible. And again, this Commanders team is just playing with, like, I don't give a shit, man. Let's go out here and let's rock and roll.
I mean, they were
to Detroit and they housed them.
They were supposed to come in third place.
That's what I'm saying, man. And so they can win this game. If Jalen Hurts is not Jalen Hurts, they can win this game. But again, if they're able to run the ball like they usually are, and Washington is usually not a good team against the run, Philly should win the ball game.
Yeah,
you guys can go over the Bills game. I'm just getting in the car now, so I'll probably be home. I just have something I want to talk about after that.
All right, man. So we'll go in. He said we can do the Bills Chiefs. He's gonna hang around. He's got one more thing to say, I think he said.
Okay, I couldn't hear him. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, are we all on Philly in this game?
Yeah, I think we're all on Philly. Pretty sure.
I think by a field goal. I'm taking Washington with the points. Give me the
What do you think about any overtime in this one?
Ooh, I like that. Maybe.
I could see some overtime.
This game has got potential for overtime. Yes,
Yeah,
it does. I see an over game. It's right now, I think the points are Eagles are favored 6 and the over-under is 47.5. I like Washington and the over, but I like Philly to win by a field goal probably. I think that they'll just pull it out and their run game will be enough. And if they need to make the passes, they will. But this is not going to be an easy game by any means, and I don't see Jaden Daniels getting shook for 1 minute.
No. I mean, that kid's going to have to get hurt in order to get stopped. If he's not injured severely, he's going to be a problem for the Eagles.
No doubt, man. He's fun to watch. All right, so we're all on Philly in this one, but we all think it's probably going to be a close game. Points scored, indeed. Barkley, in the 2 games this year to end it out, 296 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns against the Commanders. So, all right, they better watch out for Saquon Barkley over there, my MVP.
Yeah, they'll be waiting.
Yeah, they will be. So, all right, let's do AFC Championship where Josh Allen is 0-3 against Mahomes in the playoffs. We got the 1 seed versus the 2 seed. Game is in Kansas City. How many penalties will Patrick Mahomes draw? Sideline, late hits, all that good stuff. The Bills, Kenny, really need to establish the run in this game and keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. Let Josh Allen and them run the ball, think and dunk, do what they do. And I think they have a chance to win this game. But they're going up against the Chiefs, who may be in the middle of the pack in a lot of categories, but when it matters the most, they show up.
Let's get right down to the nitty gritty, right? Here's what I want to show everyone. Read that.
Oh, my goodness.
Penalties.
Check that out.
Since 2021, penalties towards the Chiefs, 36. Opponents, 66. Penalty yards, 319 penalty yards, 541 for opponents. More penalties that the Chiefs have had than their opponent, 0 times. 10 times the opponent has had more penalties against them. And 1 time they've had more penalty yards. 10 times they've had the opponent with more penalty yards. If you think that shit isn't real, you are in denial. Because that team travels with the referees. They know each other. Andy Reid and Spagnuolo and Brett Veach, they all sit on the plane next to the refs, okay?
Kenny is showing you this because he fully, wholeheartedly believes in the NFL conspiracy theory. He really absolutely does. He believes the league is
and there's
rigged.
Nothing wrong with that. I've watched wrestling for like 40 years. It's fucking awesome. It's
Kenny
awesome
believes
for a
that
reason.
the NFL is a soap opera and should be on during the afternoon on Mondays for old women to watch. He believes it's a soap opera.
That's just it. I think that's what the NFL wants, right? And we've talked about this. I think that the wrestling can be on every single night of the week, and they can make money every single night of the week with wrestling. They go to a different arena every night. They have different events on different, and if the NFL wants to be that, we're already talking about adding more games, and we're already talking about playing on a Wednesday now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. They want to play every damn week, every day of the week if they possibly can. That's what.
And I have no problem with that, and I'm sure you have no problem with that. But what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to expand the roster. You're going to have to give people rest. You're going to have some deeper rosters, and people are going to have to rotate a lot more if you want a player to last 20 games.
That's right. We talked about that. That's right. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Yeah. Just getting back to this real quick. Bills are 8th in rushing offense. The Chiefs are 8th in rushing defense. So against the run, they're 8th. So they kind of wash out there. KC, here's a big stat, Kenny. Kansas City is 29th in the league in defensive third down percentage. So on third down, they have not been good this year. And we know how great the Bills are on third and fourth down. So they can keep their drives going. That's why I'm saying James Cook has got to be a part of this game. Ray Davis has got to be a part. Ray Davis, has got to be a part of this game.
Ty
Johnson. Play all those guys. Run the ball. And then, get your play action to Kincaid, to Shakir over the middle, to Coleman if he's healthy enough to play. Amari Cooper can have a big game here and there. But if the Bills throw from more than 250 yards, they're going to lose. That's what I think. They need to throw the ball for about 212 yards and rush it for about 200.
I would think Josh Allen has less than 250 yards passing and more likely has 2 rushing touchdowns before he
probably.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good prop bet right there.
I mean, I actually said this yesterday on McNiner's show. I can see this game being where Allen may be the only person to score on the Bills.
So possible. I mean,
it's very possible, and that's not because James Cook isn't a good player. It's because Josh Allen is a scavenger.
He's fucking super. He is super freaking man. He really is. He's unbelievable. Yeah. The guy's unreal. I mean, you know what? And their defense has been playing better. I did write this down. The Bills have been causing turnovers since week 15. They have 11 takeaways. So,
the last 5 or 6 games of the year, those guys bumped up from being a mid-level defense to being a top 5 defense in the last few games.
Look, they still got players, man. And getting Matt Milano back was, I think, really, really huge. And he's the guy, if they're going to play a spy on Patrick Mahomes, which I think they will do, they'll rush 4 and keep Milano back. That is the way to go because you got Greg Russo rushing, Ed Oliver, AJ Epinez is playing. And then Bernard is a really good linebacker who people don't talk about. He can make some plays. DeMar Hamlin, comeback player of the year probably this year, but they have a lot of good players on defense who have been playing better, and a defensive-minded head coach. This could work out. They could beat the Chiefs, but Kenny, they're the freaking Chiefs, man, and they keep finding ways to win. And even though they're not running well and not throwing well, you know Kelsey's going to show up in this big game. You know Mahomes is. They got Andy Reid. Steve Spagnuolo is like the master of blitzes. He causes so many different looks. It's going to be a chess battle also.
I mean, Spagnuolo is one of the reasons, not just Andy Reid, not just Patrick Mahomes. I mean, people know, if you know, you know, Spagnuolo is a big part of why that team is very good. They draft well. They're a great team.
Yes.
Their problem in this game is something we've talked about before. The left side of the O-line has been struggling all year, and that may be where their problem is. So,
and they can't run. They just can't run. I mean, Joe Thuney, they had to move to left tackle from his guard position because they're so messed up over there. You know, Creed Humphrey, he's a good player at center, but Jawan Taylor is a freaking penalty machine. I mean, gosh. But you see, when you look at their defense, man, I mean, Chris Jones, again, he's just a game record. George Karlaftis, really good player. I mentioned Nick Bolton before. He's an excellent linebacker. You got Justin Reed back there. Trent McDuffie as well. Brian Cook is a good player. I mean, Kansas City, they are ready. They know how to play. This game is going to be a battle, man, and I think it's going to come down to the end, and maybe who's got the ball last wins. As long as there aren't 13 seconds on the clock for Kansas City, I think that Buffalo could pull it out.
In that last game that they played the Texans, I mean, there was a chance there where it still was a game. And then what happened? Chris Jones, right up the middle unblocked.
Oh, man.
Right up the middle unblocked. And that
How
was
do you not block that guy? Come on.
After that was it. They were done after that.
Yeah, man. You see,
the same thing that happened to us.
Kansas City's going to have to get creative on offense, I believe, in order to move the ball consistently. But that's what I want to see Buffalo do, too. I want to see them use their shifts. I want to see them use their motion like they do now. It's harder for them to do it on the road, obviously. There's a lot more crowd noise, and that you can't hear the cadence as well. But if they work on their silent count enough, it could work out. And the Bills have been cohesive enough of a unit in order for that to happen. They could go on the road and win this game. Now, it's really hard to beat a team twice in a season, go 2-0. So, look, if I had a gun to my head, how do I not pick Kansas City? They're home. I mean, they always find ways to win. But, man, I want Buffalo to win, bro. I really want them to win.
I'd like Buffalo to win, even though I'm going to take the Chiefs. I just have to. The Bills can beat them, and I think everyone's hoping that they do.
Most people are, man. Really, my entire office is. People hate the Chiefs, man. They just freaking despise the Chiefs. Look, we don't like the Chiefs. They beat us twice in 5 years. They beat us in the Super Bowl twice in 5 years. We hate the Chiefs. I don't want them to win. I don't want them to be the only team that ever three-peated. Kiss my ass. I don't care about your freaking record. I don't
want to see that.
I want to see the Bills, who have got a story from the 1990s, who went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost. I want to see a story of the only rookie quarterback to ever win a conference championship game, go to a Super Bowl and have a chance. I want to see a story where Saquon Barkley finally goes to a good team, rushes for 2,000 yards, and could be the Super Bowl MVP. I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and everybody freaking else holding up a trophy and kissing and red and yellow freaking confetti falling from the damn sky. I'm sick of it. No more. Get it off my fucking dinner plate.
I would like that too, and I know that most people would. Problem is that I've watched wrestling for a really long time, and that's exactly what they do, right? They've got these other storylines that are good, and you're like, oh, this has to be the new storyline, right? And then Triple H comes out of nowhere and does some dirty shit and remains the champ. You know, it's just they love to create a heel. I honestly believe they did it with the Patriots, and no one likes a heel, and they win all the time, and you think they're always going to lose, and they keep winning, and then it's just like this thing that works. It just works. Yeah. Like people, even though they hate the team, that like hate for them actually brings numbers. It actually doesn't discourage people from watching. It makes them want to watch more because they want to see the Chiefs lose.
Yeah, and we said the Chiefs were, out of these 4 teams, the worst rushing team out of the Eagles, Bills, Commanders, and Chiefs. And a stat that backs that up a little bit, in this game specifically, when these two teams played, I wrote this down as well because I can't remember everything. The Bills kept Mahomes in the pocket the entire first meeting. Mahomes had 0 rushes in that first game where the Bills won 30-21. 21 points, that will not get it done against Buffalo. If they can hold Kansas City to 21, Buffalo will win this game and they will go to the Super Bowl. And my God, I want them to win and I want the Commanders to win. So I would love to see that matchup. But I feel like it's going to be Kansas City and Philly, a rematch from 2 years ago.
Yeah, and we know how they love to recycle scripts.
Yeah.
And so they even recycle me. Okay, so I don't want to get into it because we're not talking about this right now, but I'm listening to the radio, and every friggin' song on there is a song that was written 50 years ago. You're just stealing the damn song.
Oh, of course.
I'm sick of it. Stop playing our damn music. Come up with your own shit.
Oh, it's like movies nowadays. Everything. Oh, well, this is the prequel to a movie that was made 9,000 years ago. Shut the fuck. Come up with some
movies and the music,
ideas.
they're just like just regurgitating the same shit and with different characters and like.
How many Fast and Furious and Transformer movies are you gonna make? Are you kidding me already? Stop! Come up with something
funny.
good.
And the worst part is those movies are always like the worst rated movies on like Rotten Tomatoes and shit.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to see that shit.
You know what they're coming up with now? I don't know how good these movies are because honestly I haven't seen it, but every year they are basing a movie off a dead singer. Every fucking year. This year it's Bob Dylan.
Yeah. Yeah, like the biopic.
Yeah, man. I heard it was actually a pretty good movie, but I'm not a big fan of Bob Dylan. Yeah, the Bob Dylan movie, whatever.
Yeah, but you know what the thing about Bob Dylan is that they've made like a half a dozen movies about Bob Dylan.
They have made movies about him before. That's right. Yeah. But
and movies about songs that he's written, even. So, like, it's just.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'll tell you this: is I went to film school in New York. I went to film school. First thing they taught us day one: don't be original, don't be creative. Nobody gives a fuck how original and creative you think your story is. You take a movie that was hot 20 years ago and you rewrite it. And that's just what it is.
That's all they do. That's all they do.
Because they're like, here's the thing, we know this worked, and so that's what we want.
Yeah, I mean, shit. They've already gone back to the '80s, stealing Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice. They can't. There's no more new ideas. They're
picking the '80s apart. A lot of our. What's that, Sponge?
Beetlejuice. Yeah.
Oh, you're back.
I'm back.
What did he say?
Beetlejuice.
Oh. What are you doing? Don't say that shit. I don't want that guy popping up on my screen.
Hey, better saying Beetlejuice than Candyman. Let's not get crazy.
Oh boy. Jeez.
Kenny.
Yeah. I know. We only got 4 more.
Red rum. Don't do it. Oh my God. Spongy, since you're back and since we're about to close this bad boy out, man, a lot of fun today, Kenny. This has been a fun show. I've had a lot of good laughs. We're both on Kansas City, even though we both want Buffalo to win. What do you think?
So I've seen a script both ways. I've seen a scripted. Well, they've always had us beating the Commanders, but I've seen us against the Bills and us against the Chiefs. Honestly, I hope it's the Bills. I think they would give us the most competition because I think with the Chiefs we would lose, but it would be because of a
rigged football.
Stupid rigged. It would be off of a penalty.
No call or a call.
Because we honestly should have won the last Super Bowl. Yet again, that penalty, and all the missed penalties as well. It wasn't as bad in our game, but in the Niners game against the Chiefs, it was bad.
90 seconds straight of nonsense, for example.
That one with the Eagles on Juju Smith, that was tough. That was a tough one.
That was.
I don't know if you should have. It was pass interference or holding, really.
It was holding, but yet again, I understand the Super Bowl. You have to make those ticky-tacky calls, but you don't call that at any point in the season, and you didn't call that the other times in the game. I bet you that they did that 50 other times in the game over the.
Of course, they decide when to call it.
Yep. Yeah. Like you can go holding on every play.
But,
of course.
I don't know if you guys talked about this already or want to save this for another show. Like about who we got winning for awards and stuff.
We actually did our award show a couple of weeks ago. So,
we did.
What you guys? But now that you guys know who is officially on the ballot.
Oh, you mean for MVP and stuff?
For MVP, Coach of the Year, Assistant of the Year, or whatever it is.
My thing about MVP, Spongy, real quick. I think that Lamar Jackson may actually deserve it a little bit more than Josh Allen, but I think Saquon Barkley deserves it more than both of those guys. And I know that you must love that right now. He has been that entire offense. And look, I'm not an idiot. Take Lamar off the Ravens, whole different team. You still got Derrick Henry. Take Josh Allen off the Bills, absolutely a different team, no doubt about it. I get it. But Saquon came here to Philly from the rival Giants, ran for 2,000 yards, and put this team in the number 2 overall position in the NFC. Could have been number 1, and look where they are now, 1 game away from going back to the Super Bowl.
But, you know, when I look at
Coach of the Year,
and who they have, I think it's
honestly between Dan Quinn
and Dan Campbell. Or, you know,
possibly throw Sean Payton in there.
Dan Quinn's my guy, Kenny, right?
Even though the Chargers blew it, I liked Harbaugh as well, but they kind of blew it.
Yeah,
well,
Harbaugh was
Herbert
Reed.
blew it.
Andy
Herbert
Reid
blew it.
honestly shouldn't be on there. Respectfully.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. Andy Reid should absolutely be on there. They went
Okay.
15-1, not
So,
15-2.
yeah.
They
And
didn't
they had a
try
lot
that
of-
way.
He should be on there, but he shouldn't win.
I wouldn't have a
We
problem
don't
if
need
he
to
won.
give him. We don't need to give him another award.
exactly.
Look,
You know,
And as assistant, I think that they put better guys on there. Respectfully, Joe Brady. It shouldn't go to him because honestly, I think any offensive coordinator with Josh Allen can do all these plays that they run, and Josh Allen has even said it. And that's why I don't think Joe Brady is getting much head coach attention.
Nor should he. He's not a head coach. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, it was like the Bieniemy thing. They wanted to see, Bieniemy was like, okay, you have
And then-
Patrick Mahomes.
I mean,
You see, the defense must have been really good this year. 3 out of the 5 candidates are defensive coaches and defensive coordinators. I mean, Ben Johnson's the only other OC. Well, he shouldn't win it. Respectfully, he did the same thing last year.
I don't care what people say. Defense still wins championships.
Yeah, it's a good point. Defense and running the
You see
ball.
that? You see that? Aaron Glenn, Brian Flores, Vic Fangio. I think Aaron Glenn is already eliminated. I don't think he wins it. Brian Flores and Vic Fangio. I think it's between those two.
Yeah, because of the record. I mean, of the record alone.
and then
Yeah, I mean,
Comeback
it's
player of
like
the
he
year.
fell off a little bit toward the end over there. But, I mean, Vic Fangio, again, going from 30th to 1st with rookie cornerbacks. Come on, man. That's ridiculous.
And that's why I like Harbaugh, too,
And here's the thing.
I don't think DeMar Hamlin should win comeback player of the year this year because
I agree.
he should have won it last year if they wanted him to win it.
Well, here's the thing. I
Especially-
understand what you're saying real quick. Let me just jump in real fast because I heard a conversation real quick and it set it straight for me.
Yeah.
I hear you, but last year he only played like 17 snaps. So he really didn't play last year. He wasn't healthy enough. So that's why they gave it to him this year. Last year, they gave it to fucking Joe Flacco. Because
I know.
I feel like what they're going to do is they're going to put him on the ballot again next year. And the year after that. The
Wow.
year after that. And they're going to continue to do it until
He's out of the league.
because he honestly, respectfully sucks.
I was going to say, he doesn't have the
if he
stats to
didn't-
win comeback player of the year.
If he
Nah.
didn't die on the field, he would be out of the NFL right now.
You might be right. dude.
Anybody hearing this breaking news right now that Alex is sharing with us over here? Where's my fucking phone?
No, I don't see it. What's up?
Hold on. I'm trying to show what he wrote.
Oh,
Check this
wow.
out.
That's weird because he was like,
49 is expected to rehire for
Robert
How
Saleh,
about
huh?
that?
I mean,
Now,
I
I'm
don't really
cool
have
with
a
that.
problem with it. But
I am cool with that, bro. I am cool with that. Yeah, like I said, we were talking about Pete Carroll before, maybe. I don't know what happened with the screen right there, and I don't know where Spongy went.
well, all I see here is good news. Saleh incoming? ? Huge 49ers Robert Saleh plot twist. But there's no. I only see the
heard
thumb.
he
I
was-
just see the thumbnail.
I heard he was the top candidate for the Jags.
That's what I thought. He was going to be head coach for the Jags. Yeah.
Well, they're going to sign this
Was that-
this Cohen
was-
guy now.
Was that when
Ah.
Trent Baalke? No, because I think what happened was
Liam
Saleh-
Cohen.
Yeah,
Saleh
Liam
was
Cohen,
supposed
whatever.
to be the main guy when Trent Baalke was there. because of the familiarity Bulky has with Salah. But now I think that, you know.
And now I'm also seeing Brian Schottenheimer could be the Cowboys' hire for their team.
Yeah, they've been talking to him a lot. I hate that hire. I think that's a terrible idea. Terrible. They need Brian Flores.
I think if we look at it, I think, of course, I think comeback player of the year should be Burrow. I don't think we have any disagreements with that.
I love Joe Burrow.
Oh, Joe Burrow's amazing.
Freaking Sam Darnold, J.K., and Christian Gonzalez.
No, this is good. I like this for the Niners right here. This is really, really good.
You guys are going to be able to keep him, at least hopefully for the year after as well, because
I don't think.
Well, he'll be coaching his ass off for another head coaching gig at some point in the next 3 years.
Well, here's what I was going to say.
He wants that.
I don't know if you guys ever heard this, but John Madden said after 10 years, you got to get the fuck out. And so Kyle is approaching that. If we take on Saleh and he's the DC for the next 2 years, and then we let go of Shanahan, Saleh can move into being the head coach.
That is very likely to happen if Kyle Shanahan's offense falls off and they pay Brock Purdy too much damn money and we can't pay anybody else.
I don't know.
That's
big
very
year.
possible.
Yeah, big year.
He's going to get a second chance. It may not be with the 49ers, but I agree that he'll get a second chance. So
I think, one of these coaching hires that have been hired this year, and it may very well be Ben Johnson, is going to fluke and get fired by next year. And I think a guy like Robert Saleh might be the guy to fill that position.
Yeah, he definitely is someone who's coveted. He was. I didn't think he was the problem in New York, but I don't really know.
He was not the problem. He fixed that defense completely.
He did fix the defense.
That Ben Johnson isn't going anywhere.
The defense actually blew it when he left, and what I believe.
I'm just giving that example that it may be Ben Johnson, it may be Liam Cohn, or if Kellen Moore gets a head coaching job, it may be him. It could be any of these guys that got hired. It may be Aaron Glenn.
But these one and dones are ridiculous unless you're like an Urban Meyer type of situation where you're kicking your kicker and during practice. I mean, you have got to give coaches more time. And again, you have to have players. There are only those great coaches out there like Andy freaking Reid who can win with not the greatest talent on the field and win games by 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 points. I don't care. They win games. They figure it out. That's why he's such a great coach.
Didn't we do that when we won when we went to the Super Bowl in 2020?
We were winning close games, yeah.
We were winning games by like 3, 4 points and losing them by like 1 or 2.
Right, because Jimmy G was our quarterback, and we were holding our breath every time he dropped back to pass.
Back then, if we were down 10 points, I mean, we never thought we'd see those points.
Do you know how many times I went to the hospital during that season because of him? This guy. No, I'm kidding. God forbid.
I was like, bro.
I'm just Jimmy G. He killed me. It was so hard to watch him play. My goodness.
I almost went to the friggin' hospital due to a friggin' heart attack when Hurts didn't win the Super Bowl MVP because he played his butt off better than Mahomes. But
you know what? He probably should have won, actually. You know what? They don't obviously give it to the losing team much, but if anybody deserved it, he did. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys know, but back in the day, the presidency, if a Democrat won, they would pick a Republican vice. We were good like that back then, and now we don't do shit like that.
Are you kidding me? It's like the Hatfields and McCoys over here. Forget about it.
It really is.
They did that in the
John Adams, George Washington era, kind of.
Back in 1785 or whatever the hell it was. But anyway, damn, before we get into politics on the show and get ourselves into real trouble over here, that happens too much at work. You got to be careful.
If you look at the, since we've already been over CPOY, all that, go to the Rookie of the Years. I know you guys have just went over this. I just want to go over it if that's okay with y'all.
Yeah, tell us.
For defensive Rookie of the Year, I don't think it's going to be DeJean or Mitchell. Mitchell has too many dropped interceptions, and he only has 1 interception on the year. And DeJean, I don't think he played enough games, honestly. I think it's going to go to Jared Verse or Braden Fisk. I don't even think Chop Robinson is an option.
Chop was nice too.
was nice, but
he wasn't Jared Verse nice.
No, it's all Jared. I think Jason said Jared Verse at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, he was my defensive rookie of the year. Yep.
I
But
think
then again, Caleb Williams was my offensive rookie of the year,
Yeah.
and Jaden
I mean-
Daniels is the guy I should have picked.
again,
People get this wrong, and even Bears fans get this wrong. Like, especially this one stupid Bears fan I know. But Caleb didn't play bad this year.
No,
Caleb
he
was
didn't play
not the
bad. He
problem.
just look, he was a rookie, and he wasn't Jaden Daniels, and that's fine. I'm with you, Spongy. Real quick, I'll just say my real quick piece about this. I believe that Caleb Williams has the tools to be a good player. Ben Johnson could be the guy to get that out of him. We'll see. But by no means did he have a bad year. The only thing is, and this is expected when you're a rookie, he didn't do anything to put them over the hump. He wasn't making big plays. So that's what's missing, and I believe he could do that. We just haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
But for, I think, the last defensive and offensive rookie of the year, and I think GM of the year or whatever, Brock Bowers and Jaden Daniels and BTJ, I think, are the top guys. I honestly really like Jaden and Brian Thomas, only because both of them were on my fantasy team and both carried me to the toilet bowl. Okay.
BTJ was not to be. There's so many good rookies. There really
He
was.
is a candidate. You know, Jaden Daniels will win, there's no doubt, but Brian Thomas Jr. is a candidate. He was on Jacksonville this year with a bad Trevor Lawrence
so
and
is Brock
Mac
Bowers.
Jones.
Yeah, which Spongy, you weren't here, but we went into detail. We went into depth about Brock Bowers, man. So we get it. Yeah.
Really good, really great tight end. He's in that. And I think Bo Nix also deserves a little bit of credit as well.
Bo
And
Nix
so
was a
does
great
Neighbors.
surprise.
I think all of the offensive rookies that they have up here were amazing. All the
Even
rookies
Ladd
they have.
McConkey. I know Ladd McConkey's not on the list, but he was really awesome too.
He really was. That's the only guy over there.
He just wasn't putting up the same production as these guys.
Yeah, he got hurt a lot.
He did.
Yeah.
And for defensive player of the year, Zach Bond, Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson,
he has two.
and TJ Watt. I think this one's a little harder, honestly.
I like Patrick Surtain, man. He was just shut down all year.
Mhm.
TJ Watt, I don't know. I don't want to give it to him again. He didn't have that big explosive year. But
Myles
Patrick
Garrett
Surtain,
did. I don't think Myles Garrett did either. And I honestly don't think Trey Hendrickson did either. He had 17 and a half sacks last year. And how many did he have this year?
13 and a half maye, right?
13.
14.
Well, it's still really good, so it could go to him. But I think it's. I don't know if it's going to go to a linebacker like Zach Bond.
I like the
Of course.
Surtain. I like that. He reminds me of Champ Bailey sometimes.
Ooh, I like
To
it.
go to Zach Bond, especially because we picked him up off freaking a 1-year prove-it deal, and he's up for Defensive Player of the Year.
I know. I can't even believe he actually made it. I mean, he's been playing really great this year. There's no doubt about it. You know, coming over from, what was it, New Orleans is where he started, right?
He started in
In New Orleans, and he was
Yeah.
always a backup, and he never got attention.
Oh, you're talking about Barton, right? Barnes or Barton?
BAUN.
No, Zach Bourne he's talking about. Zach
okay.
Bourne.
And people always spell his
Name wrong. They say CH or CK.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
CH. Anyway.
No, it might not a CK. They have it a CK. But for OPOY, of course, I think I don't think Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry is one of the lower ones on this list compared to guys like Barkley, Burrow, Chase, and Lamar. I think it's going to Saquon if he doesn't win MVP. But I think if Saquon does win MVP, they'll give Offensive Player of the Year to Jamar Chase.
It's hard to. That's a good one, yeah.
And Jamar Chase he deserves it.
And you know that the MVP race is really between three guys when you see guys like Jared Goff in there.
Yeah, it's a quarterback award. We know it's a quarter. That's why we know that it's either going to Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, and
I know
Saquon will be the Offensive Player of the Year.
It's crazy that Jared Goff is one of the top 5 in MVP. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Really
don't
shouldn't
love
be.
that. I don't know how much I love that. I really don't. I mean, I don't know if he was MVP-ish. I mean, I would put Jameer Gibbs as more of an important player to that
Jameer
team.
Gibbs, honestly, I think he's going to break out for, well, more than he already did this year, but I think he's breaking out for Offensive Player of the Year next year.
If David Montgomery didn't exist, he would
Right.
run for 2,000 yards. I promise you.
Exactly.
He's not-
Montgomery being there actually hurt him.
No doubt. Jameer Gibbs is as good. I'm not going to say he's as good as Saquon Barkley or Derrick. I'm not going to go crazy, but he's really right there. I right now I have
Not
him as
that crazy.
He's probably
He's
the third best running back in the league. Probably.
Yeah, he's little and shiftier. He's a little more like, a little like a glider more than a like collider.
He
Right?
is so fucking good. He's a pleasure to watch, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield. I mean, when he gets going, when he hits that sideline, bye-bye. See you later. You are not catching me at all.
So I don't know if you guys saw this, that we got a lot of questionable injuries on both sides of the Buffalo Bill Kansas City game, but they're all questionable. So those guys are going to play. I don't see any major
yeah.
injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody questionable is playing.
Yep.
Like, well, Milano is questionable. He's going to play. Taylor Rapp is questionable. I heard he's going to play. So is Benford. That's for the Bills. And for Kansas City, who do they got hurt? Drew Tranquil.
Chris Jones is questionable with an abdomen injury. That's not
no,
great.
He's playing.
Nick Bolton is questionable, undisclosed. Noah Gray, backup tight end, triceps, and then Willie Gay, linebacker, shoulder. Shoulder for a linebacker, that concerns me. So does abdomen for Jones, but those guys are playing.
And
Yeah,
I
they're all
I want to
playing.
say something real quick as well, just kind of a shot at both you guys, your team mostly. We picked up Cam Latu over the last few days on a future reserve contract.
You picked up Latu from the Cleveland?
Cleveland. But of course, former Niner draft pick yet again.
Yeah.
We have those guys stocked on our practice squad.
Well, I have my wish list for the draft, okay? And I want an offensive lineman first. And then second, we're going to pick around 42, 43, whatever. And guess who's there? The tight end from Penn State. I'm sorry. I want the guy.
I just got a sleeper for you, Kenny, at
Yeah.
the tight end position. I was talking to Levi about it earlier. If we're not in position to get Tyler Warren, who I absolutely want, especially because these Penn State kids, they perform well in Philly.
Yeah, makes sense.
They really do. You saw it with
Or
Saquon.
you just go to Iowa because they're tight end university. Just go
Right.
pick out a
But
tight end.
They
But
really
a guy that I look at, because Iowa's tight end this year isn't I think he's more of a blocking guy.
No, that was just more of like because they produce so many tight ends already in the league.
Yeah, he's very injury prone. That's the only reason I would want him. He has like a 6th-round projection. But the guy I looked at was the Bowling Green tight end, who was like 2nd-round projected.
First of all,
And I
congratulations for watching Bowling Green. I didn't even know they were on TV.
No. See, I understand. I get it from playing from College Football 25. But then I look into the guys when I play well with them and I see their stats, and he's just. I feel like he's a danger. I think if he's the 2nd best tight end in this class behind Warren.
What's his name
basi-
again?
So Kenny,
Harold-
so he hangs out with Woody Johnson, is what I'm hearing, or Woody Johnson's kids, because he goes by the ratings, right? In order
There
to
you
get
go.
Players.
By the ratings, I go with how I play with them, and then I look.
I'm
at them.
kidding, man. I'm playing with
Well,
you.
yeah. It's just a few. It's very it's fun. But I do want to say this: Howie Roseman and the Eagles front office landed a MVP finalist, Saquon Barkley, and Defensive Player of the Year finalist on the same day in free agency. Their cap number combined is $9.361 million in 2024.
Damn
Well,
good,
I looked up the Harold Fannin Bowling Green guy. He is pretty nice, and he's actually ranked before Tyler Warren. And so, we know that. But
man. Okay.
a lot of teams
You have him in the top 2.
and then so you got Harold Fannin Jr. is the first tight end off. They're saying he's the highest rated tight end. Then you got Tyler Warren, and then you got Colston Loveland from Michigan.
He was the guy I wanted since the
6'5",
beginning.
250.
And he's very fast. I think
He is
that's-
4'7", 4.7. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
That's
that's
good.
what his calling card is, especially Michigan.
And then everyone loves Texas players, and that guy's next. Tight end Gunnar Helm.
Yeah, I think that's where the tight ends kind of go off a little bit. I think that's.
Well, you're only going to get so many good tight ends in one
Yeah.
draft.
I want Warren, because what I want the Niners to do is I want to see more 2 tight ends, even 3 tight end sets, and I want to run it. Okay? I want to run the ball with a lot of blockers, because that shit works. I don't know if you've ever noticed.
That's right. You got that right. Stack up that offensive line, stack up that defensive line, and start smash mouth football, baby. That's the way that we're supposed to win. That's the way you do it.
This is what I did. In the first round, I'll quickly go through this mock draft, and if you see any positions.
Well, you're not going to do an entire 32-team mock draft right now.
No.
Okay.
I already took a picture of it. It's just the Eagles. And if Kenny needs any of these positions, the first pick, I picked the edge from Ohio State, who has a second-round rating, Sawyer.
Okay. Oh, you mean the white guy from Ohio State?
Ohio State, edge rusher.
Yeah.
With Josh Sweat leaving, I think that's a key.
Yeah, Jack Sawyer, 6'5", 260, 4'6".
And then the second pick, I picked O-line. Can't go wrong with O-line in Philly's system.
That never hurts.
Dre Zabel from NDSU.
Dre Zabel. When do you want to pick him up?
Second round. Gray. His name is literally Gray. Grey.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about Gray
Gray?
Zabel. Yeah,
think
Gray
his name is
Zabel,
Gray.
6'6", 305 pounds.
And then
North Dakota State.
And then Bruce Lance too. He's stud.
Yeah, North Dakota's been having a lot of people come out from there.
Round, I just went linebacker. Can't go wrong. Danny Stutzman from Oklahoma. He's a senior, 4-year senior, but he's very hard hitting.
Okay.
He should be a top linebacker, but he's not. I don't understand why. He honestly has first round talent.
What round? That was the third round?
And I think I traded up for Tej Johnson from Oregon.
Yeah, you know what the thing is with the draft is, as much as I love to do the mock draft, is that when I do a mock draft now and then I do a mock draft in August, they're just so different. So I don't even start anymore until like.
Yeah, no, I just started, and I like to go.
Or I'm sorry, not August, April.
I like to go off of what I do in the first one and kind of see if those guys are still there. Just like poach some of them.
Oh yeah, and as the weeks roll by, you see a lot of the ratings change and a lot of guys move up.
There's this quarterback that I've been looking at. We don't need it, so honestly, I don't know why I'm looking at it.
But you should always draft a quarterback.
The Montana State quarterback.
Okay.
Honestly, he's just got the speed, which is something I look at too. I think he runs a 4.3.
That's pretty nice.
And he 4-year senior. And I also look at like the community aspect, which is something not many people do. And he has an arm too, so yeah.
Nice.
All right, Spongy, let's see your last couple. I gotta go walk my dog.
Hey. And then I drafted an Iowa tight end. Can't go wrong with that.
See, there you go. That's what I said.
An Iowa fan, so he said that wasn't really the best of picks in the 6th round, but I think he just needs a lot of work.
Yeah, you just never know, man. We got Brock Purdy on the last pick of the draft. Everybody out there is worth something.
2 picks later, I drafted a D lineman from Ohio State. They gave me an A+, so what?
A D lineman from Ohio State in the 6th, 7th round is pretty good.
That's all I got. I think, hopefully the Eagles win. I'm not putting my hopes on it.
Well, try to enjoy the game, man, because it'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. I think we're in store for 2 really good games. Well, it's hard when you're rooting for your team. It's almost impossible to enjoy the game. It's only after you win can you actually enjoy it. And if you lose, then it's just a week full of misery. So I don't wish that on anybody, but one of these teams is going to get it, or 2, I should say. as it could be either Bills Eagles, Bills Commanders, or Chiefs Eagles, Chiefs Commanders. I'd rather not see a repeat of a couple of years ago. I'm rooting for Bills Commanders. That would be really exciting, and the storylines would be out of control between the rookie quarterback and the team that lost 4 in a row at one point. Josh Allen trying to finally get over the hump. Will he win the MVP? Dan Quinn coming in there, changing the culture. Great storylines right there. But you know what? Kansas City going for a three-peat, as boring as it is to most of us, is also a wonderful storyline. So,
and by the way,
in
I
good
hate
shape.
the Commanders. I hate the Commanders even more now because you know who their owner is?
Well, it's not Dan Snyder, so people feel a lot better about that.
No. Well, yet again, it's the owner of the Sixers.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Harris. John
that makes
John
sense.
Harris.
That makes
So
sense.
we've been kind of going back and forth and saying, my teacher said this. My teacher's young, so he's kind of in the
What do you think is young? I got to hear this.
Well, he's 23.
Yeah, that's
okay. Well, that's very young. Okay.
So
Yeah.
and he said, okay, if we beat the Commanders, he should sell the Sixers.
Well, I don't know. The guy's making money, man. That's all he cares about.
But he's also only winning with Commanders. As you know, this is a football show, but the Sixers have absolutely sucked this year.
yeah. Basketball though.
Yeah. Magic Johnson's got his hands in the Washington Commanders. He's part owner of that team, isn't he?
He is a 4% owner. I think majority owner is Harris.
Well, yeah. I
He is.
don't know if you guys also heard this, but I don't know if you know this, but now anyone can invest in a football team. Private equity has made its way into the NFL now, and it's totally legal to just give money to a team. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, like with the Packers.
They're fan owned, so
Yeah, they actually get to invest in their own team, which is pretty awesome.
they can't get mad at their owners.
That's true.
All right. Well, this has been fun. 2 hours. Not bad, man. Not bad. Hey, look, we got the big games this weekend. Next week, we won't have any games. We'll have, I guess, the Pro Bowl and shit. Not that we're going to spend a lot of time on that, Kenny, but we'll have a lot to talk about with whatever matchup it is. Again, there will be storylines no matter how you look at it. Going to be exciting. Can't wait to talk about it, pick it, predict it, all that good stuff with you. Spongy, it was great for you to stop by, man. Glad you could spend some time with
You
us.
ever want me on
Again, especially if you guys do like mock drafts and all, just let me know. Levi would also be a great guy for that.
I'm
We will
sure
let-
we'll figure some, we'll do some off-season stuff.
Getting 2 people on at once.
We'll do some off-season stuff. I'm sure we can handle that. That'll be fun. All right, I
For
like
sure.
it. All right.
All right, so we're
Awesome.
hoping for Bills, Commanders, but we're probably gonna get Eagles, Chiefs.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Again, big thing depends on Jalen Hurts. If he can show at least that he can run, they will win. But if he's showing that he's just either dropping back or handing the ball off, I think the Commanders and Dan Quinn can come up with a little something and score enough. We'll see. I know Spongy's a little scared, but don't get scared, my friend. Just enjoy the game, have fun, watch it.
Yeah.
Hour 32, Kenny. You're the man, brother. Let's do it again
Peace.
next week as always, baby. We'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Hour 32 is out.